Is Egypt on your bucket list? Who hasn't remembered as a kid studying about the pyramids in what, fifth grade, sixth grade, and then wanting to see it in real life? Well, that was me, and I finally decided it was time. So, March of 2024, headed out. And that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm Tiffany with DPP Travel, and let's get into it. We were in Egypt March 15th through the 26th. And this was part of our Waterways cruise. So a lot of this is coming from how they put things together. So please keep that in mind. This is not kind of a land. This is part of floating hotel, took us to different parts. We did spend a lot of time on airplanes. I'm not going to lie about that because there's a lot of space to cover. And the best way to get there is flying. So we stayed at the beautiful Ritz-Carlton at the Nile. And we were right there. The old Egyptian museum is right within walking distance. We walked over, we saw so many of the beautiful artifacts and treasures from the things that have been found and how they are doing their best to preserve them. Some things had already been moved to the new museum, but it was not open yet. So we did see the old one. We went to the Alabaster Mosque. We went to, I'm trying to think, where else did we go? Because we were in Cairo. So while we were in Cairo, that's kind of what we did. Oh, the ancient Memphis, Sphinx, and the Great Pyramid. Let's talk about that. The Sphinx, so much smaller than I expected. So much smaller. It's still large, but when you see pictures of it in your head, you're thinking it's this huge. No, it's not. It's small in comparison to the Great Pyramid and then the smaller pyramid that's behind that. We were lucky enough because when we went, tourism is down, obviously, with the conflict that's happening over there. So we went into the Great Pyramid. We did not have to fight over a large mass of people to get into that, which was lovely because you're climbing up on an arc like this and the ceiling is right there. So you're bent over climbing up it. I have a video that I think was on our social media about that. It is hot. It is like a sauna. And all that's in there is a sarcophagus that is a big granite kind of square. You can stop, have your picture made, and then you walk back out. And believe me, you're in a hurry to get out because it's so warm. So we did that. We did the Sphinx, got the pictures, did the camel ride, had a lovely time. It's worth it. And again, we went in March. The weather was lovely, and it was still stifling inside that. So please keep that in mind. If you're going any later, it's going to only get hotter. We then took a flight from there to Luxor to get on the ship. So that's what we did. Then we did, from there, I'm trying to think, it was so many times. We would cruise up and down. We would see the Valley of the Kings. We did not do the Valley of the Queens. We did the Kings. The Valley of the Queens is still closed. In that, you go into the actual tombs and see all of the hieroglyphics. They'll give you lots of information, so much information, but it's astounding to me how old they are and how bright some of the colors are. And as we were told, we have an Egyptologist that was with us the entire time. Amani, she was lovely, and she has been interested in this since she was 14. She is now in her 50s. So that just tells you how much knowledge she really has. She works with a lot of universities when they come over. But the reason that we were told that they were able to have King Tut's tomb untouched was because the way it works is it was a big mound and they had entrances into tombs, and some were built out really nice and some were kind of just quiet. His was right beside a much larger one because he was not a pharaoh for that long because he died young, and it was covered over. And therefore, nobody knew it was there. So you got to see all of the amazing artifacts that were in there because nobody knew it was there. So that was kind of cool. So then we went to Eduf. I don't know how to say that correctly. The Temple of Horus. We went to so many temples. We went to so many tombs. It's just astounding. It's a lot of information again. Then you would cruise. When you get back on the cruise, we'd cruise around a little while and you go to the next one. We did end up going to Abu Simbel. That required a plane ride. So we all got up at dark 30 to go get on a plane, to fly over, to see it, to turn around and get back on a plane and come back. It is worth it. It does cost extra, but it is worth it. I mean, I just can't tell you. We saw so many. Then if you didn't do, or if you wanted to do something else, you could do the high tea at the old Cataract Hotel. And that is famous because that's where Agatha Christie wrote Death on the Nile. So you can go have high tea there. I did not do the high tea. I did the Abu Simbel. And then there is, we did a Nibu village, which is some of the local people who are in charge of kind of taking care of some of the artifacts, some of the areas. The village people take care of all of that. We did the Temple of Ombu. Yeah, I think that's, if I'm saying it wrong, I'm so sorry. We stopped at a papyrus to see how that's made, how they work it out. We did Luxor Temple. We did the market. I mean, we did all sorts of things. The things I'm going to tell you now, Temple of Hathor. I mean, all sorts of things like that. Real talk. It is dirty. It is so dirty. So much more than I expected. Piles of trash, whether you're at the pyramids, whether you're in town, it is just everywhere. Be prepared for it. Lots of plastic because you can't drink the water. Some of the places filter the water. Most of the places will tell you to use bottled water. So there's plastic everywhere. So just be prepared for that. At dusk, there are mosquitoes, there are flies. So it's very difficult to be outside as dusk is happening. It doesn't really matter if you have bug spray or not. They're just everywhere and they like your face. The people are very happy that you are there, but the vendors do not know personal space. They get up in your face, try to hand you stuff. They won't move when you want to try to walk around them. It is very harsh for some of us who don't particularly like people in our space like that. The best thing I can tell you is wear a hat, put your hands in your pocket, put your head down, and just walk through the middle of them, because that's what I did. But they were lovely. They were very giving. They were very happy you were there. The vendors are trying to make money because tourism is down so much. You will find that a lot of houses look unfinished. So you will have brick houses, and then you will have rebar sticking up from the top of it. And you're like, oh my gosh, what's happened? Is that vacant? No, they're all living in the houses. But the way it works is if the house is not complete, you don't pay taxes. So many of them are built that way on purpose so that I don't have to pay the taxes. Traffic there is crazy, absolutely crazy. It is Frogger, in a car, out of a car, whatever. It is just mass chaos there. So sometimes that can be a little frightening if you're trying to go somewhere. So keep that in mind as well. I hope this has been helpful. If you have any other questions about visiting Egypt, reach out to DPP Travel. We'll be happy to answer them. If you're interested in planning a trip, love to help you with the experience that we have. If you have questions, look at our other videos in regards to the Waterways trip, our time in Jordan, and other videos of places we've been.